So I will add a heading. So this syntax you might be familiar. This is markdown. So using markdown you can edit the page. I will save and publish. Okay, and then if you come back here and if you refresh, now you can see it will add your page. So on the left hand side it will have the table of content, and then once you click on different pages, those things will be loaded in the main content. So yeah, the base URL and then the path parameters, and then yeah, I can send this as well. So now you can see you will get the response. Let's confirm it, and then now you can see it was added, and then I can go to the SwaggerHub over the design part, and then it will create the definition for me directly. Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to QV Bro, your favorite YouTube channel. So, I'm back again on this Friday as well. So, if you can remember, last week we started on looking at the Swagger, the tool set. Also, we discussed the difference between Swagger, Open API, and then we saw like what are the difference, the license types, and then we started looking at the open source tool list of Swagger. Then for today, I promise that I will walk you through on the API hub. So yeah, if you go, last week we discussed this part, the open source. Today we have the Swagger Pro part called API hub. If you check on the licensing, last week also I show you that. So we have the open source and this is the API hub. API hub we have multiple parts like individual, teams, enterprise, likewise. So the difference here is like how many licenses you will be getting for individual and the teams. The difference here you can see for individual you will get only 3 public APIs, but for teams you will get up to 50, and for enterprise you will get unlimited likewise. So that is the difference mainly there. So other than that, there are some other differences with each license type. So mainly like enterprise. For the enterprise plus is the one with no limitations. Yeah, so you can decide it based on your organization size or your needs. Okay, so today I'm going to introduce you the API hub from the Swagger. So for this you need to create your account since this is a licensed tool and only a 30-day free trial will be left. So now I have only 23 days left in my trial. So yeah, but however, like if you check here, the hub previously we had these tools separately as different tools with different names. So Swagger did the renaming and then they created this hub to collect all the tools for one place. So here you can see like what was the previous name for each tool. So then it will make sense like if you are new to like the term API hub, but you might have known the Swagger hub, which was the previously you saw the API designing part for the editor part. So it was mainly named as Swagger hub. Then we had the portal, SwaggerHub portal, previously known as. Then we had the SwaggerHub Explore. Then we had the PactFlow for contract testing. Likewise, though these are some existing tools which we had previously, but now those things were collected and then considered under API Hub. And now we have new names like Decide, Portal, Explore. So these new names are not much familiar for many of you, but you might have heard these previous terms. So it's good like still they show the former name. So then it's easy for us to do the mapping for each the tool. And also here you will see since this is our team. So here you can do the management part, the user management and the organizational management parts here you can do. So yeah, let's check that part as well. So here if I come to my organization, so you can see currently I have only one user added and you can add other members for this organization and you can give the subscription, yeah, the license, then you can manage it from here as well. Other than that, you will see the subscriptions, yeah. So I can upgrade it from here and then some information about the billing information. And if I want to delete it, the delete option is also here under the user management, the admin part. Okay. So that is about the introduction about the API app. Now let's deep dive into each of these tools and see. Today I will not like go much detailed information about each of these tools because most of these items we have already covered in our previous video where we discussed under the open source. So then the only difference here is like there will be some additional features or some limitations where they are on the open source has been reduced here, like the number of APIs you can publish likewise. So we can quickly go through these tools today. So yeah, however, I will start from uh, the design, API Hub design, which is previously known as the SwaggerHub. So yeah, here if you come, now you can see like here the home page for the design here. You can manage all your APIs. Then you can, there are options for you to create, import or see your currently published APIs. So those options are there. Other than that, yeah, again here also the create options, then to see your open APIs, and then your organizational size wise API. So the difference here, like if from your account if you create, so those will be here. So if any other member in your organization create, those things will be here, and also the search option likewise. So those are the mainly the options. So yeah, I will take one of these free or one of these example APIs which are already added on the API hub from the Swagger. So let's say this one, home IoT API. So likewise, so you can click this from like your my APIs or your organization APIs, or else yeah, you can go through the create option, and that also you will be able to land here. So these things now you are much familiar since we covered this in last week as well. So this is the editor part, and then here is the Swagger UI part. So once you do some edits here, those will be in real time will be visible in the UI, and also if there are any issues in your the specification, those will be showed inline, and also those will be visible on the UI as well. Currently this is a read only view we have for the example API, and on this side also you can see all these paths and those things in a kind of a tree view. You can see the items based on the specification as you add. So yeah, you can add anything, and those will be in real time will be added to the UI as well. And then here there are some other options like you can view the code, and then yeah, you can go to the form editor as well. I can't use the form editor from the free license. So the form editor is like here we have to edit on the code. As I mentioned, either you have to go with YAML or the JSON formats. It's a bit hard because this is not much human friendly format, and also YAML is very indentation sensitive. If you make any mistake with the space, there will be so much errors. So instead of using it on this YAML format or JSON format, so you can go to the form view, and simply you can, as shown in this the image, you can edit the form. You can like add the path, then you can fill the required parameters asked for the path. Likewise, you can edit it from the form view. Then you can do the preview, the Swagger UI part, and then here yeah, you can switch between or get information about your API information, and then you can manage different versions, and then the codegen which we discussed last week. So the codegen you can use mainly to create your client SDKs or the server stubs based on this given API specification. So for example, if you go for the client SDK, there are different the frameworks and languages. So based on your preference, you can download each, and then you can run this client SDKs. Then it will send the requests to this, and also you can create the server stubs as well. Again, based on your favorite language or framework, you can download the server stubs, and then you can run this. Then the server will be up on the given port and the IP address. Then from another client, you can send request to this the server stub as well. So like using these two options, you can test your specification, and also you can create your test cases. So yeah, that will be useful with the codegen. Then you can export this the documentation. That means the Swagger UI part you can directly export from here as HTML, HTML2, dynamic HTML, or else the specification part you can download as JSON or YAML as well. So both options are available. Either you can download the specification, or else you can publish the Swagger UI. Okay, let's try out this HTML option. Yeah, and then you can see that will be downloaded as a zip file. Then you can share the HTML file as well. Or else, yeah, you can publish this too. So then from here, anyone can check out. And then, yeah, you can play with your font sizes and light and dark mode. Yeah, those options are also there. So if you can remember with the open source, some of these options are not there under the open source, but yeah, the main part, the editor and the UI was available. So yeah, even with the open source part, you can do your day-to-day tasks. So I think that's it for the home. Sorry, the API have the design part because there's nothing much. Yeah, if you come back to the hub design home, yeah, let me show this as well. Either from here also you can create new one. Either you can import if you have any ML JSON files, or you can create this from a template, or you can create a new project as or API. So here I will select, let's say, yeah, my owner, and then what is the specification, whether it's 2.0, 3.0, likewise. Then if, yeah, I can select a template as well. So let's say either a pet store, you can remember that. From here also you can select one, and then you can give name, and then you can create. And also here's the option, no need for you to go to codegen and generate. So from here also you can select to automate the API as well to create the server stubs. So yeah, so that about API hub, the design part. So then I came back to the API hub to check out our second tool. So this is previously known as the SwaggerHub portal. Now just portal. So yeah, this you can, so you here also you can see some information about each tool, and you can go to the documentation as well. So the portal, as here it's mentioned, deliver clear and up-to-date API documentation through a branded portal to boost API discoverability and adoption. Yeah, so here you can add, let's say, as a product, I will give my product as QEBro, and then you can create a URL for the, yeah, your product as well, and then you can see whether the URL is available, and it will come as a subdomain for your organization. So it's portal.swaggerhub.com. Since my organization is QEBro, it will come as qebro.portal.swaggerhub.com, and then you can give the path for this product. Likewise, you can have multiple products created. So here now, once I come to this portal, again here you can switch between the products. You can edit the content, and then the product name, URL, and you can give a description. And also, yeah, you can customize it. You can upload some logos, and then you can configure whether this is private or public. Then what is the landing page, visible or hidden, and then yeah, if you need, you can delete this as it. Okay, so then let's say I will apply these changes, and here you can see what is the last published change and what is the time, and then here you can see the visibility. Those things also you can change, and you can go and check the live preview of your portal. So now you can see qvbro.portal and then /qvbro. So you can share this with any of your clients then or your team, so then they can easily switch between and see all your available products. Then you can link this with the API specifications as well. So then all the content will be visible here. So I will go to the edit product content, and then here now you can see, you can now, since the content is empty, so that's why I came here. Now you can add, either you can add new pages or else you can link KPIs. So yeah, let's say add a new page. I will give as home. Yes, I will create the page, and then now you can see for the table of content it will automatically add. Now using this editor you can edit this page as well. So I will just add some information. This is a sample product homepage, and then yeah, you know these things, so you can easily edit it. So I will add a heading. So this syntax you might be familiar. This is Markdown. So using Markdown you can edit the page. So yeah, I think this is enough. I will save and publish. Okay, and then if you come back here and if you refresh, now you can see it will add your page. So on the left hand side, it will have the table of content. And then once you click on different pages, those things will be loaded in the main content. So here you can link other your websites or other documentation. Yes, simply you can create documentation here as well. Then you can link API specifications and other FAQs. So all these things you can link here, and you can use this as your product homepage. So yeah, mainly this is for your documentation purposes. I hope it was clear. There is nothing much. So you can add any number of pages and you can publish it and you can share it with your clients and teams for your documentation purposes. So using MD, you can customize these things. Okay. Then the next item is the SwaggerHub Explore, the old name, and now it is API Hub Explore. So if you come to the Explore, this you can use to quickly discover, analyze, and interact with multi-protocol APIs. Yeah. So this is kind of from the name also you can say it says Explore. So this is as you can see here. This is like a bit similar to the Postman content you see, right? The form. So here you can change between REST and Kafka. Then you can select what is the HTTP method you want. And then here you can give the URL. Yeah. Let's use our free API which we were using all this time. So for today as well, I will use this REST API which we were using all this time. So yeah, let's take this endpoint. So here, since this is a GET request, I will configure it as GET and this is a REST. So yeah, the base URL and then the path parameters. Okay. And then we don't need any authorization parameters, no auth. Then the connection, enable URL encoding, enable follow redirects, and you can set the timeout as well. Then you can set any header parameters and the body parameters. For our case, it's empty. And then I can send this as well. So now you can see you will get the response, the status code, time taken, the size of the response, and response headers and the response body. So all this information available here. And then from here you can add this to your space. You can add a space name. I will create this as REST API. API name. This shows list of all objects. I will use the same name and I can add this to space. And then you can go to the spaces here and you can see my created API is saved here. So likewise you can play with this and then you can export this API to the SwaggerHub directly from here as well. And then SwaggerHub. What is SwaggerHub? The design here. It's the old name, the SwaggerHub. That's why they also still haven't renamed it at all the places. Some places they will still use the old names. So it's good for you to know both old name and the new name to avoid any confusions. And then from here you can see the history of all your API calls made. And then from here also you can see the SwaggerHub APIs. Currently, since we don't have any, it's nothing. Let's try out this one. So I will go to my saved API. So likewise, you can save any other paths. So like all these paths also you can save under this same space and then you can export those to the SwaggerHub. So I will export. So what is the name? And you can add the API version. So I will give as 1.0 and then I can select who is the owner and what is the public visibility. So so there are some expected name patterns. It start and end with an alphanumeric character. Allowed alphanumeric characters like this. So okay. So the problem is like you need to click somewhere else outside. Otherwise, the error message is not removing. It's not very user friendly, but let's confirm it. And then now you can see it was added. and then I can go to the SwaggerHub or the design part, and then it will create the definition for me directly. So it took the title and the description, and then the version I added as 1.0. Okay, the URL also it take out from the request, and from the request it extracted out all the information and the response 200 description. But yeah, here you can see it didn't add uh, the response objects and those information, but high level information is added and it generated the UI part as well. So very easily you can export it. So that is why now as API Hub is like one location for all your API needs. So this ecosystem is really useful. Now you can see you can use all these tools interchangeably for your final output. So you can easily use the Explore to send these requests, and then from Explore you can directly export these to this design part to generate the specification. Then from there it will automatically create the UI part as well, the Swagger UI. And also you can then go to the portal and then you can create the web page for your product as well. So like all your API designing, API testing, then mocking, and then the documentation, all these things you can handle through the API Hub. So that is the use of the Swagger API Hub or the Swagger ecosystem. I hope it was very clear now since I used all these options. And then yeah, then that's about the Explore. Then the test, it's a beta option is still there. So you can use the API Hub test option to automate your API testing, integrate with the CI/CDs, and then yeah, validate workflows. And yeah, mainly for your testing purposes, you can use the test, but keep in mind this is still a beta version. So there could be some issues, or still there will be many changes. So this is known as API Hub test. I think this is previously known as the reflect. I'm not sure. I think this is the reflect. Yeah. So here you can create your test cases. So import API option is still not there. So it's coming soon. Maybe when it is done, maybe we will get the option to directly export it from the editor, since like from the design we create all these API specification, and then if we can send it directly to the tests, so then it will be easy. So it will take the specification and maybe it will be able to generate some test cases automatically for you to validate this path and required parameters, those things. Yeah, here on the title you can see the reflect. So yeah, it is. So the API Hub test was previously known as the reflect. So yeah, let's create test case. I will just give some basic name. And then when it comes here, now you can see you can add the steps. You can add either API call or add the JavaScript step. So these are a bit familiar, like the KNAI. Can you remember, like in KNAI also we were able to add this information like this. So yeah, let's say if we want to add the API call, yeah. So it will open the form. You can select the HTTP method. Then yeah, let's try out this. And then I will give the full parameter I think it need to give. Yeah, and also here you can insert variables. Then I will give as, let's say, path, and then for the path I can give a default value. Okay, so likewise, and then you can parameterize it as well. Then no request headers, yeah, all these things are good. Then you can change the timeout values and failure modes, whether this is soft assertions or the hard assertions, and then the step delete. So I will execute this, execute request. Yeah, editing now disabled because it's calling. Yeah, and it sent the request and we received the response. Yeah, our step was passed, and then I can save it as our first step. And then so let's say this is our, yeah. So the first step is done, and some information like when this was created, last updated, and if we need any tunnels, those information. And also yeah, you can copy and delete, and also you can run this test as well, and also you can add some JavaScript parts, and you can insert segments as well. Then these segments are like you can create the reusable steps. If you can remember with the KNI also, we can mark multiple steps like this, and then yeah, here you will see we can save it as a segment. So then next time if we want to reuse this, you don't need to create the steps manually. You can come here and insert a segment. So multiple test steps will be automatically added to your test case, and then yeah, you can run this test. Okay, now you can run this test, and yeah, so likewise, you can play with the test cases as well, and then here you will see all the test runs will be saved, and the test run information will be visible inside here as well for each test case. It's taking some time. While it's running, let's see other information. Yeah, you can create test suits as well for like regression, smoke, likewise you can configure those things. And then here also you will see your test runs, all your results now you can see from here. So this test run had only one test case, and you can see the steps and then the response to be validated, all this information. And then yes, and here also if this is failed, you can report this as issue, and yeah, you can integrate GitHub, Jira, Azure, Linear, Slack. Likewise, there are some other integrations available. So if you have done these integrations for your profile, so then easily you can report failing test cases as bugs as well. So that option is also there. So yeah, here so this reflect or the test can be used for your test case management and for your test run and all this information. And also here you can create the variables, global variables and global secrets. So when you create these test cases, as I did here, you can parameterize it for your test cases like this. So this is like a local variable which I created. So you can see how to access the local variables here and here. But here if you create it as a global variable, this will be available for all your test cases. So yeah, I think it was enough. There's nothing much. We have seen all these features in other similar tools as well. So now you know how you can use the reflect as it. Then the last item here. So yeah, again I'll come to the open source part here. If you can remember, we didn't have the portal and we didn't have the test as well, and some of the features from the design was also not there. So those are the new items for the additional features we have in the API hub for the licenses. So then we have the contract testing part, which was previously known as the PactFlow. So this can be used for your contract testing. Yeah, now the industry is moving, or most of the companies have already moved to the contract testing. So now there will be a layer between the unit testing and the API testing as the contract testing, where you can verify your contracts. So if there is any change in your specifications, so before going to the API testing stage, it can be quickly identified through the contract testing. So here, yeah, the PactFlow on the title also it's there. So now it's under the API hub as contract testing. So yes, you can we have it will create us a unique URL for the PactFlow. So now you can see qvbro.pactflow. So once you've done these things from your code, and then once you add your contract testing at your code base, then those things will be published here. So we can go to the applications. I haven't done any code part yet, so I will use some example application here. And then here you will be able to see all these tests, and then yeah, with the pass fail status, and then here you can go and see the contract. Yes, and download the contract. So those information. So here you will see the contract information. So likewise, all this information you will be able to see under the contract testing now, or the PactFlow inside the Swagger API hub as well. So yeah, likewise, you can now, the whole ecosystem for your API needs are now under the API hub. You can start with designing your API specification, then it will generate the Swagger UI for you, and then you can publish both. Then you can go and create your documentation, and then you can have your own URL as well, and then you can share this documentation as well, and then you can test existing APIs, and then you can export those directly to the designing part, and also you can create your test cases for your APIs, and also you can do the, so this is like your API testing part, your functional testing part, and this is for your contract testing part. So I think, yeah, that's enough for today. We spent quite time for Swagger. Last time we discussed about the open source, and this time the API hub. The only remaining part is the enterprise. So there's nothing much. The difference is, again, the same tools will be there with some extra features or extra capabilities, let's say, because there are limitations of the number of test cases or the number of APIs you can publish with this license, and enterprise. It's unlimited likewise. So there is nothing much. So I don't think we need to check that out as well. So for next week, I have the Swagger UI, and then from there we can end our API playlist as well. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and also share this with your friends as well. Thank you for watching my videos, and see you till next week, and happy testing.